Hey guys, welcome back to my Lionel Train videos. Today we are going to talk about an issue in the design of my track layout that I have sort of been annoyed with, and even though we finished the layout, we're going to have to do a slight modification to correct the issue. So what it is you notice my layout has a split between two sides here, and there's this center section where you can stand to control the trains and everything. So on this side of the layout, you can see back here, there's a switch right here. And when the train is coming this direction towards me, it can either go this way, which would go around and up the layout, or it can go the opposite direction and go this way, which would go to the opposite side of the layout. So it can go either direction. So once the train is running the direction where it's coming to me from back here forward, I can turn it around. So I can turn the train around and turn it the other direction and again go up through other tracks, etc. The mistake I made was on this side over here. And the reason I made this mistake is because I have another inside track here that I'm using for accessories and everything. And so when I did that, I come in off this track, I don't have a switch here. So basically if I'm coming this direction, I can go up and around, but there's no way for me off of this direction to come around and go back over here to the other side. So in other words, when I'm over here, I can turn the train around, but once the train is turned around, I can't turn it back around again the other direction. I'm stuck because I don't have any kind of crossover in the back there or anything, or a way to turn around. So I've been trying to find a spot on the layout to do this, and in the back, between the track that comes into the yard, there's so much going on back there, there's just nowhere to fit any kind of crossover. So I came up with a plan actually on the front of the layout, and this is actually going to be much easier because all this is very easy to access right in the front here. It's on the lift bridge, and so I just have to make a change here. But what I'm going to do is take this Y switch I have right here. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to move it back here where you see this piece of cardboard. And so that when the train's coming this way, it can come down this way and just go like it does today. There'll just be a piece that joins us together. Or I'm going to have like I have on the other side, where the train can come through here and then start going the other direction. Now somehow I got to get it over to this outside track. So I've got 3 lanes of track here. And I got to get it to the outside because that's the one that wraps around and then starts going the other direction. So obviously I need a crossover. So I went to the hobby store. I got a whole bunch of track in different degree crossovers. So this is a 45. The 22 was just a little bit too long. So the 45 seems to work. So it looks like if I take this 45, put it right here, I can just take some straights and join it to the curve currently that's coming from the one side. It will also join in with just sort of a little jog right here over to the switch here, which will take it the other direction. Basically this track right here, the way it worked is it came across here in the back here, and then it joined up with that Y. But now I don't need that there. I can just have it come across here and do a little zigzag and then come back, and it comes out to the same spot over here. Now the other direction, which is the crossover, right, this would just have another straight piece and has a switch here. So the switch that used to feed this inner siding's got to go. So we have to take out this inner siding, and so I don't need all this track that comes back to this switch. So I'm going to take this switch and just move it up here, and that is going to be the switch that's going to get me on my crossover, which will then go across here, wrap around, and get over to my Y switch. So this house has to be moved, obviously, because the track's going to be going through there. But this inner track piece here is going to be eliminated. And so we can move the house into sort of this section right here. And then the barn, I think, is going to be able to stay where it is. We'll make some kind of a little, I don't know what we'll do. We'll make a little bridge or something, or do something to make it look kind of cool between the farmhouse and the actual farm itself. And then all this stuff in the center here, where this siding, this is like sort of this siding that comes off this track right here, this will all be eliminated. And then I'll take the oil drum loader and I'll bump it out to the outside track here. So as far as the track goes, it's not too huge of a deal. Although we have to take all this apart here. We've got to take pretty much everything from right here across the lift bridge and then over to this side apart. But it's not as big a job as it would be if I was in the back of the layout or something like that. So it's not going to be too bad, but I'm going to have to redo all this scenery and ballasting right here. Looks like the barn will be okay. That can stay. This track that's like right underneath here, this part right here will be eliminated. So we'll pull all that out, and then we'll just, when we join this together, just reballast this around here, and then take that up here. I don't think we're going to have to move this switch. It looks like it's going to fit in okay with this little sort of little S-curve. This is 072, so it's still pretty gentle curve. And then we'll pull this out, and then we'll just put new grass on there and then move the house over. Hopefully it'll fit with that curve, because we got a curve here that's coming off of this that's going to go over to the Y, and that's going to be actually a 60-degree curve to make that connection. And it looks like from I sort of laid out the track, and it looks like it'll all connect with just a little adjustment using all the small pieces. So I went and I got a whole bunch of track, all kinds of different sizes, 60 and 72, and then I got half tracks and the quarter tracks and 4.5-inch tracks, etc. So I can put these all together here. So I think this will work, but we got to make this change because it's really annoying when you can't turn the train around. So just one of those things, like when you're designing your track, for some reason I thought I could turn it around, but I just didn't. For some reason it didn't click that I was doing it on the one side and I wasn't doing it on the other side. And again, one of the reasons is because on this side I have this long straight with all these accessories against it, so I needed that straight going down there. But that's our next little project. So even though the layout was finished, we're just going to have to make a change right here. Hopefully it'll only take me, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 weeks to get that finished. But our first step is going to be to pull all this up. We're going to try to keep as much down as we can, so we're only going to pull up what we need to, and then we're going to relay the new track plan, make sure it all fits together, and then we're going to run the trains through it first before we put any scenery down to make sure we don't have any kind of geometry problems or something like that. So, but anyway, that is my latest project on the layout. I was actually going to make some running videos, which I know everybody's been waiting for, but there's no sense making a running video when I can't turn the train around. And then I'd have to, really what I have to do is pull the train off the track, flip it around, and put it back on the track, which nobody wants to do that. So this is a design, mistake I made on the original track layout design, and luckily we're going to be able to fix it, and then we'll be all set. So stay tuned for the progress. Okay, so here is the finished revised track plan. So if you remember, on this side of the layout, as you're coming across here, this originally went almost straight here and then came across over to a switch which was actually over here. This was just a siding that came straight across and then over here joined up with a switch that was right about here to bring it back onto the main line. So again, my problem was that from this direction you can see I have a split here where I can turn the train around and go either direction. So if I'm going around this way, I can go around the whole layout, come around, and then I could turn it around. But the problem was over here on this side, I did not have that same switch like I do right now. So that line would come here and just go off to the right here and join in with a switch that was right after this other one up here. So what I did was I took the switch that was back here and I moved it over here, so that Y I moved over there, and then I took the switch that was back here and I moved it up here onto the lift bridge basically. So now what happens is on both sides I can flip the switch and then turn the train the opposite direction. So this actually gives me a lot more routes, more interesting. Instead of just going sort of round and round, it gives me more routes. I can do different things. So depending which direction I'm coming, I can do different things. Show you here. So if I'm coming off that track right there, that split, and I'm coming around here and I come around this direction, then I can actually split off again here. I can go inside the layout or I can go up the grade. And then it's kind of the same thing on the other side. Now, which I couldn't do before the only thing I could do is come down this direction and then basically either go back under the lift bridge in the back there or go up the grade. Now when I'm coming this direction, I can actually turn the train around and go the opposite direction. And so what I've done is I brought it across the lift bridge here and I just put a 45-degree crossing right here. And so I eliminated the siding that was here before, so it ran sort of straight along here. That siding's gone. And all I did now, this is the same coming off here, but now it goes into the crossing and then back to the same switch that the siding used to be on. And then from the other direction it comes across, and now I have a switch that then takes it back to the main line. And if I'm coming the opposite way, then I can either go straight or I can go back the other direction this way too. So makes a big difference, and it resolved my little design flaw I had on my original track plan. And actually the scenery here actually looks, I think, a little bit better than it did before. So I didn't have to move the barn, that stayed in place. I did have to move the farmhouse though, so I put it over in this new area that opened up now that I don't have that track running there. And just add a few more trees. Okay, and then out here I added a road that sort of wraps around and connects over here with the other road. So right where that VW bus is, that's where the old road was. And it used to just come in front of the oil drum loader here and wrap around. The oil drum loader was on the siding, so this was way back. So I pulled that forward now out to the main line. And then just redid all the scenery. So really from this point right here, from like the truck here on over, I had a redo. I didn't have to go as far back as the switch tower there, but this whole main section here I had to redo. The lift bridge was probably the hardest part, because now I have all these tracks here with these joints, and I had to obviously cover the joint where the lift bridge comes up and down. So a lot of extra scenery there. I added a few of the Woodland Scenics street lamps in here, which I didn't have before. And then I also got this new little vehicle here. It's probably hard to see in the camera, but it has headlights and tail lights that are lit up on it. And those are the new Woodland Scenics plug and play. So just like if you're familiar with the Menards cars, they have some lighted cars too that you can put on your layout, and they go powered by a power pack. These plug in just to the normal Woodland Scenics plug and play system, which I have throughout the layout. So that's what all these street lights are. And so now they've started adding, I think they have like 6 or so vehicles. So I added this truck here, and then another one in another part of the layout that you can now get that have LED headlights. So when the lights are down, they look pretty cool at night. And then I moved the switch tower. It sort of used to be in the middle here where the siding was, and I moved it over here. And then really just redid all the scenery around everything here. So now I am pretty satisfied. So now I can really run trains all different directions now, and I'm not sort of caught in a situation where I have to actually take the train up and turn it around manually. So small little change, but makes a big difference in running the trains. And luckily everything turned out as far as the geometry of the track. The only thing I had to do is there was one piece of track that I could not there was no right size for it, so you can kind of see it here, but I took a regular piece of track and just cut it in half, and then I cut out this section I didn't need because I wanted to keep the pins on both ends. So this end still has the pins and the other end has the pins, but I just cut it in half, and then I cut out, you know, the amount of track that I didn't need to make the right size track. So I had to do that in two places. I had to do it there, and I had to do it over here to get the track geometry to fit. But other than that, all the other pieces are standard fast track sizes that I mixed and matched to get it to work. So everything kind of worked out. So let me turn down the lights. You can kind of see what they look like at night. Okay, so now you can see those cars I was talking about that are lit. They, you know, obviously show up much better in the dark. So they got headlights on them, and they got tail lights on them, which look pretty cool. So, and again, just added some street lights here along the way also. So actually, it's a little bit of an improvement over the scenery I had here before. So it was worth it in the end just to redo this little section and get it all fixed. So I had to obviously not only get the tear up all the track and the scenery, which was not easy, believe it or not. You get surprised on how much glue that you use and how hard it is to get back up when you need to, but pull that all up, redo the track, and then rewire everything up again because all the wiring had to move, and powering up the center section here for these tracks and everything changed. So getting all that finished, it took about it was pretty much solid 7 days, so it wasn't too bad, just a week to get it back up and running again. So now I can actually get some running sessions going, and next video I really want to do some sensor track recordings to show you how the recordings work and how you can have everything sort of automated. So but that's it. That was my sort of my design change for my track based on a little flaw I had in my original design. And hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. So now I'm turning the train around. So now I'm going to turn it around again.
Dispatcher, we are moving. Over. Roger that.
So now you can see I got 2 turnarounds, so I'm not stuck and I don't have to pick up the train manually and turn around the track. So everything's good.